What is one of the first civilizations?
Ancient Egypt was also one of the first and greatest civilizations on earth.
When did Egypt's history begin?
That began 5,000 years ago.
What did Egypt depend on?
Egypt depended on the Nile River for almost everything.
What is different where the water flowed?
The Nile River flowed through this desert. Where the water flowed, the desert was green.
What did the floods leave?
The floods left mud on the riverbanks.
What did the Egyptians grow on the mud?
They grew fine crops on it.
What did the Egyptians dig?
The Egyptians dug canals and ditches to carry water from the river to their black land.
What else did farmers raise?
Farmers raised cattle, sheep, goats, dogs, and geese for food too.
What did ships carry?
Ships carried the farm products along the Great River.
How did the Egyptians travel?
The ancient Egyptians traveled mainly by riverboat.
What grew in the marshes?
Papyrus and lotus plants grew in the marshes.
Who did the laundry?
Egyptian men usually did the laundry because the women were afraid of the crocodiles in the river.
What did the Egyptian leaders called?
They were called pharaohs.
What did the people believe about the pharaohs?
The people believed that all pharaohs were god kings.
What did the sun god do every 24 hours?
They also believed that every 24 hours the great sun god Amun-Re sailed across the sky.
Why did the Egyptians preserve dead bodies?
The Egyptians believed in life after death, so it was important to preserve the dead body.
What did they call the red bodies?
These bodies were called mummies.
What are the largest tombs in Egypt called?
The largest tombs in ancient Egypt were the Great Pyramids.
How did they move the stones from the quarry to the building sites?
Carpenters built large rafts to carry stones to the building sites.
What is the name of the largest pyramid?
The largest of them is called the Pyramid of Khufu.
How long did it take to make the Pyramid of Khufu?
It took 20 years to complete it.
What did archaeologists find in 1954?
In 1954, archaeologists found a wooden boat.
What did the Sphinx look like?
It has a head of a man and the body of a lion.
What did the Sphinx do?
The Sphinx guards the Great Pyramids.
Did most people have a system of writing at the time?
Most people had no system of writing at that time.
What did people use to communicate?
People used pictures to communicate.
What did people write on?
People used papyrus to write on.
What is papyrus?
Papyrus was a kind of paper.
What is papyrus made from?
It was made from one of the plants along the shores of the Nile River.
What did the Nile floods do?
The Nile floods changed the shapes and the sizes of fields almost every year.
What did the tax collectors need to know?
The tax collectors had to know the sizes of the fields to collect the correct taxes.
How did geometry help the Egyptians?
Geometry helps them measure the fields.
Is the Nile a great river?
Yes, the Nile truly helped to develop one of mankind's earliest civilizations. So it was a great river.